Hey, you're listening to the Smoking Joe Thunder podcast. Hey, what's up? It's your boy Joe Thunder back once again with another episode of the Smoking Joe Thunder podcast. I got my co-host Elvis Fresley in the building.
Yo, what it do, player?
Chilling, bro. How you doing?
Chilling, man. You know, smoking.
Right,
doing
right.
what we do.
Happy motherfucking birthday.
Oh, shit.
Birthday.
Yeah. Oh, it is my birthday.
Oh,
It's your
shit,
birthday
It's
today.
birthday. Go, shorty.
It's my birthday today.
Happy birthday,
birthday.
bro.
Thank you, man.
How many
this year
years?
I was
23?
like, it's something like that. This year I was like, I'm just not going to make a deal out of it. Last year we had a little party. I was like,
Alright.
cool. I got it out of my system.
All right.
Now I wish it wasn't my birthday.
All right. We're going to have a party here in a couple months for my birthday because I'm
Yeah,
getting
yeah, it's
old.
yours this
I'm
year.
getting old. So,
You know a venue you could use if you want to.
right here, yeah.
Oh, you can bring it.
Well, we can
Oh, the
smoke. We
bar,
can't.
though.
We can smoke here.
Oh, that's very true.
We were smokers.
You could come have dinner.
Yeah, there you
First.
go. We're smokers. We're not
That's it.
drinkers, but you know what I mean.
Here, you go.
But real quick, shout out to our official sponsor, Be Good Dispensaries over there on 11 West Hampton. Right. And where they up north?
114th and Cherokee Street, right across the highway from Boondocks.
Hell yeah, we got another exciting episode for you today.
Oh, yeah.
Man, we got a cat in the building that's been doing it for a
Banger.
minute, man. He's
Banger.
a MC, he's a rapper, he's a producer, he's a label owner, he's a bar owner.
Again.
Fuck, I don't even know.
Being out here doing
Yeah.
multiple lanes
He used
for
to be
a long
he
time.
used to be the cigarette man. They
The
know him as the
cigarette
Marlboro
man.
man. You
Right.
know what I
The
mean?
cigarette
Right there on 16th Street Mall.
Yeah.
We got status. Cadava Records in the building. What's going down, G?
Peace, buddy, man. Thank you for having me, Joe.
For sure, for
Joe
sure,
and
for
Elvis
sure.
both. I
Thank you
appreciate
for
you
coming,
guys,
man. That's
Hell
dope.
yeah.
Very much.
Known each other for a
appreciate
minute,
you.
right, bro?
Yeah, man. Like 20 years or something.
Like we were
I
talking
mean,
about-
not a little bit of
Not
time.
like yeah, but you know what I mean.
No,
Right.
but I mean, like, that's a
Right.
long time.
That is.
It's half my life, bro.
Yeah.
I kind of look at some of the music, man, and it dates back to 2005, 2006 is when we started
that
going
sounds
down.
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I opened that shop 2003, 2, something like that.
Downtown, the cigarette
The
shop?
cigarette shop.
Right.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, that's around when I met you, like 2004,
Yeah.
just from being outside of your.
And it took me a couple years to get my bearings down there, but we had been there that long. But I mean, that's how long I remember you.
Damn,
Was it
that's
hard to get
crazy.
that spot? Because that's kind of like a nice spot, especially.
Well, that shop was kind of a little turd in that building, but the location was really good.
Right next to McDonald's.
Yeah.
The
Underneath.
underneath McDonald's.
Underneath
The
McDonald's.
most
bro.
poppin', the most
Right.
cigarette poppin'est
Yeah.
fucking McDonald's.
The
in
one
Colorado history.
the one cigarette business, but no cigarettes. In
No,
it, you know?
yeah, that's it. That's
we were
it.
doing whatever, but that's what it is.
Yeah,
But no, it was. Long story short, there was another cigarette shop in the West Side on 6th and Calumet, and that's where the shop originally was. And I worked for those guys. They opened that shop on 16th and Champa. The one on 6th and Calumet went under. Put me over at the one on 6th and, or I'm sorry, on the mall on 16th and Champa, and then they were going to close that one. So I
kind of took it over, right?
I went to the landlord and got my own lease and basically told him, "Fuck you, close it then." And they ended up selling me all the stuff in there for a little bit of money, and I opened back up. And then I found out why they were going out of business. It wasn't making any money.
Right.
But I diversified from there, you know.
Diversify your portfolio.
We did what we did. And then I was always into the local scene and everything, so I let a lot of guys
You sell mixtapes,
Yeah.
tapes,
Yeah.
cigarettes.
Cigarettes, mixtapes,
Blunts,
fucking-
probably
I
not.
sold porno out of there, dude. I sold fucking,
Hell yeah.
I sold love what do they call love roses, bro? I made my rent selling love roses.
What's the love rose?
You don't even want to know what those. They were those little glass tubes that had the
that's-
little rose in it.
that
so
smell
all-
crack. That people sell
Correct.
smoke crack.
That's
out
not
of.
what the sign said, though.
Right.
Yeah,
You
like
know,
roses.
you know.
The
Yeah.
Smoke crack like this.
Yeah.
The funniest story, bro.
It's a different
is
track.
Going to the little corner store right there in Swansea on Josephine.
Right.
You remember who?
Jerry's Corner.
Not Jerry's, but the other one
On
under
Joseph-
the bridge.
Oh,
his
yeah,
his
the
like
other one.
his nephews or whatever.
Huskies.
Yeah.
Huskies.
And I went in there one time, dog, to go buy blunts because they used to have blunts all cheap. And this fool just rolls in there like normal white dude, suit and everything.
Yeah.
And this fool buys a Brillo pad and two of those things. I was
Yeah.
like, damn, this
Oh, we would get that.
this motherfucker's
Yeah.
about to go get high right
Well,
now.
my favorite shit was fools would come in and they'd look through them and go, "Oh, I collect these. I'm looking for the yellow one." Or they'd say, "Oh, my girl loves these."
Yeah.
She already, and I'm
That's-
like, dude, nobody's judging you over here,
Right, I
bro.
don't give
Just,
a fuck.
I legit remember my homie though one time getting one because he thought his mom would really like the little,
She might have.
the little rose.
There was a handful of people that didn't know what they were for.
Had no
you know?
idea what they were
And I don't know
for.
what the original intention was of the love rose. Maybe it was to fucking give to your mother, but
Something
over
like
time
that.
they figured out you could use it for something
Something else.
That's
entirely.
hilarious. For real.
Breaks, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
right.
But no, man, we
Definitely
did.
is the breaks.
One of the things that I didn't make the most money, I really didn't make much money at all, but selling local artist stuff out of there was awesome.
That's tight.
Because I got to know everybody and.
Right.
You know,
right.
it's just
The
cool to be able to
networking.
walk into a place and see your stuff. And, you know,
Right.
we would have a lot of people, though, come through there because that stuff was in there. It's just that the hip hop scene never spent much money.
Right.
You know,
No, that was
if you've ever been involved with the
talking
hip
about
hop
that.
scene.
Yeah,
you know.
that was a huge problem with any hip hop stores, anybody
Yeah.
doing hip hop, even like people who had dope shit and were able to like really stock a store, like Mr. Rags back in the day, and they
Yeah,
weren't.
Mr.
They were
Rags
a
was
little
dope.
more. They were
Content and
content, but like they didn't like Mr. Rags had bread.
yeah.
And they didn't make it.
Do you
know
remember,
what I mean? Twisted Soul,
Bomb Records
Twisted
up
Art.
in the north
Bomb
side on
Records,
Federal.
yeah,
That
bro.
joint, dude, we love that place because they were the only place that had Psycho Realm.
Right,
music,
right. Spin Records
know.
too in the East Side. They had, like it was all these little spots that they just
Yep.
didn't make it because hip hop heads at the time did not spend money.
They didn't have it though.
Right. It
And
was
the
a different
ones that
time.
had money didn't live in the city with all the rest of us.
It was a
really,
different time in
you know,
Denver for
and-
sure.
But I did. I don't know how to put it. If people were doing promotional stuff out of the store, it flew off the shelf.
Right, right.
You know what I'm saying? Or if
Man.
they did deals, you could get 3 for
Right.
I used to watch
$10
Verbal.
or
I used to watch
something,
Mr.
you know?
Verbal just crush.
Dude, Verbal
Crush.
was my buddy. Xavier is my buddy, and Jay Cook.
Right.
Bro, I
You
used to
know,
watch him.
They sold more
kill
albums,
shit.
dude.
I kind of joke around and always say this, and no cap on anyone, but Verbal's really like the only one to probably go platinum in these cities.
Yeah,
I
he
agree.
platinum in these
I agree
streets,
with you.
bro.
That's because that fool put in 20 years of everyday slanging
was-
CDs. You know what I mean?
Dude, Verbal would come down to the shop, and I would run deals, 3 mixtapes, whatever, for $10, and he would give me. I'd give him a little bit of a cut, a deal on that, and he would give me say $30 and grab 9 tapes or 10 tapes from me, 11, 12, whatever.
Right.
Some JoeThunder, some of our
Just a
shit,
bunch
some
of
Cadava
different
shit,
shit.
whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, Pincho Sack, motherfucking.
Right, all the old school
Dank,
shit, all the
fucking
shit that was
Mainline. I mean, there was a lot of
Right,
people down there, and he would come back and give me the money, and then get more and go sell them again. And I had to shell out some of that money, and some of that, it got eaten up because that store wasn't making any cash. But I mean, the fact that he went out there, Verbal would always sell his records also, but he
It
didn't
was
have a
anything
problem.
that was on. He was on.
He
you
would
know?
sell anything. Yeah.
That
And
shit
he
was funny.
didn't give a shit, man. He was a good dude.
Nah, he was the shit too. Like every time I seen him, just always like, yo, just like happy to see you type
Yes.
shit,
Bro,
and
he was
just
from Brooklyn, and he was older than all of us.
hustled.
And
I
he
bought
had the
something every
best
time.
accent. And he was one of the funniest guys you'd ever meet. Dude.
Yeah,
He
that's
was
great.
loyal.
Yeah.
Those
I
hot-
got mad love for him, man.
I was gonna say those hot dogs on his neck.
Dude, he told me he told me one day, he goes, Stat, I got to start eating healthier, and I got to start eating vegetables. And he walked in with this piece of pizza that had like jalapenos and shit. I'm eating vegetables. I was like, all right, Verbal.
That's funny.
what-
Hey,
Remember when Verbal
that's
got a
what
girlfriend for a
vegetables
little bit?
He,
She
I
was
know her
awesome.
name. She was
I know.
awesome.
I
She's a
won't say.
beautiful, nice, sweet person. I love her
But she
very
was
much.
his biggest fan at the show. That
She
shit
was awesome, man.
Funny.
Yeah.
Verbal's
Yeah.
okay.
Well, Verbal was very likable, but she moved on.
Right. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, dude.
Hey, real quick though, we kind of missed. Tell these people who you are and where you're from, and kind of how you kind of got started in hip hop.
So my name is Status, Cadava Cult, Cadava Records, originally, and still Bags of Dagger. If you're really old school
Bags of
north side,
Dagger.
we were BOD. My real name Zach. I got started making hip hop in North Denver at North High School. Put a first album out there, and I don't know if it was
What year was that?
99. We were actually selling it.
Damn.
I graduated North in 2000, so I sold the album, I think, at North my senior year, 99, 2000. That was that Agafozi Gob album, had, the original lineup of the Cadava. And then I started playing shows, got to get, knowing people, and, just went on from there. And, I'm a big advocate of local, supporting local artists, local business, local music, all that shit.
That's it, man.
My mom's side of the family, where they go from North Denver, so I always be talking that Italian shit. But
Yeah.
I'm not 100% Italian, but I am half. So.
Yeah.
Hey, what was the first element of hip hop you
You look
gravitated
more
towards?
Italian than anything.
My dad
bro.
was pretty dark though. For an Irish guy, my dad was pretty dark. But
You
yeah,
definitely look Italian.
yeah, but yeah.
You're able to talk that shit.
I talk
You
that
pull
shit.
it off.
Bro.
Yeah,
I
you
can
pull it
talk
off.
shit, all day. What? I'm sorry, Joe.
What was your the first element of hip hop you gravitated towards? Was it rapping or was
So, to be honest, my older brother was born in Camden, New Jersey, right? and my older sister also. And my brother moved to Denver. He was into metal, and he played drums. And I wanted to, be like him, know.
Right.
So I got a bass guitar when I was a kid, teenager, and I was trying to play bass. And my mom got me bass lessons, and the bass teacher told me I needed to get a metronome. And I went to, so this bass guitar is like $90 bass guitar. It was like a piece of shit. It was a Samick. I don't know if you know Samick. They're beautiful. But then I went to the Guitar Center or whatever it was back in the day, and the metronomes were very expensive. Like a real metronome, they're like $180 or something. And the guy there said, I could sell you this drum machine for like $99. It was like an Alesis SR16 drum machine.
Kind of does the same thing, right?
Yeah, and I was like, okay. And he goes, yeah, it has every time ever you want. And so I took that home, and then all of a sudden I'm making drum beats, and I was like, fuck being in a band, dude. Like, this is way cool. And I grew up as much around metal and punk rock and all that as I did around hip hop. I mean, in North High School, there was a handful of kids that listened to metal, but most of the school,
all hip hop heads.
At least the kids that spoke English.
Right.
That school was, predominantly Mexican, but a lot of the kids that were, that I hung out with, it was Wu-Tang and 3 6 Mafia, and everything in between, So I started kind of writing songs on the bass over drum beats that pretty much, I was like, dude, this sounds way more like Cypress Hill than any kind of punk rock track or whatever I thought I was doing. And then, the homeboys that I was around, they were more already kind of rhyming and shit. And so I would be making beats and kind of hang out with them. And I was writing songs, but really, if you writing a punk rock track and you scream it, it's a punk rock track. If you rap it, it's a rap track. At least the way I was writing, and it just ended up being way more on the side of hip hop and a lot more fun. Because being in a band was a bitch. Find somebody with a drum set's a lot of work. Who's going to listen to that and who has the money for it? And but getting 6 guys around rapping over drum beats was fucking easy, and fun. You could do it in a park, you could do it in a car, you could do it,
and anybody could jump in too, even if they were garbage. Like anybody could be a part of it, and it was fun. I
lived with my grandparents growing up in North Denver, and my mom. It's not like my mom dropped us off there and left. So, but my family all lived in my grandparents' house, and I couldn't be that loud in that house. My grandpa wasn't about to listen to me fucking playing an amp or a drum set or something. So. Being able to wear headphones was a big deal. You need to be, in your own world, like creating this whole thing, and you think you're just as dope as the Lost Boys at the time. And, I still have some of those tapes, and I'm very
that's one of my favorites.
That's what it is. So,
I could dig that. Though.
But yeah, man, that's a long
So it was like producing for you then.
Yeah, I'm producing first, totally. And every album I ever did, I think I did every beat on every album, and most of those, especially the first half of our whole run, that 15-year run with Cadava, I did all the beats on all that shit too.
Right.
I love making beats, dude. I love it. I love rhyming. I love performing, but I think beats
that's the one.
It's where it starts for me.
Right.
Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't sit around and go, oh, that's a dope rhyme. I fucking make beats and then I play them and write. You know what I mean? Right. So,
Who would you say some of your influences, like MCs and like producers?
Growing up, Guru.
For sure.
Premier, collectively or separately. All the Soul Assassins, especially the early stuff, Cypress, House of Pain, Funk Dubious, DJ Muggs, big to me. House of Pain was big to me because I was probably in 6th grade when I heard House of Pain, and I remember seeing the video and going, oh shit, these dudes are like, they're rhyming about drinking fucking Mickeys and wearing Dickies and, being Irish, and, I have some Irish lineage, and and they weren't shitty. Because, you knew the Beastie Boys were cool, but, there's no chance of being a Beastie Boy. But when you saw House of Pain, you were like... And they were hanging out with Cypress Hill, and I'm like, okay, so the homies at North are Cypress Hill, and I'm House of Pain. Right off the bat, you're like, oh, fuck, this could work, And then I think MOP was a really big one for me.
Yes. Cold as ice.
Yeah, MOP. We were talking about jacking earlier. Cycle
jacking.
Realm, all Cycle Realm, from the early to the later stuff. Then really trying to think of somebody that's not so cliche.
Well,
shit,
those
man.
aren't necessarily. I've heard a lot more cliche.
Well, and I mean, you know, I like all. I
From
mean,
what your
like we
style.
all know, Nas is one of the baddest.
Right.
We know, you know, Tupac's
Right,
one of the
right,
baddest. I had a lot of influence from 3-6 Mafia too.
Nice.
In the North Side, you know, they had that
Northsiders.
song North
Right,
North.
right.
Yeah, it was an Northside
So
thing.
you know, we listened to a lot of 3-6 and Project Pat. You know,
For sure.
Looney Corleone, and you know, there was a lot of stuff
Mr.
floating around
Pookie.
back then. You know,
Mr. Pookie.
I love it, man.
Who
You
was
know?
the dude that used to rap here in Denver that always the album covers were always like Mr. Pookie? He'd dress up in suits.
I don't know.
He
Don't
looked
narrow it
he
down.
looked just like him. He was like, bro, he was always out there too, like Mr. Verbal type shit.
Oh,
And
for
he,
real?
He wore like zoot suits almost and like
He's Mexican too.
nah, black dude,
Was it?
skinny, kind of lanky dude. Looked like Mr. Pookie, and he'd just be out there in the street.
I'm thinking,
fucking,
what's the homeboy that looked like Tupac? Little Therapy.
Yeah.
That's who it is.
Yeah,
Little
that's what I was
Therapy.
gonna
Yeah,
say.
That's
Little
who it
Therapy.
is.
Yeah.
Little Therapy.
He hit me up on Instagram or something not that long ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it, yeah, what's his
He
Instagram? I need
just
to
said, "What's
fucking-
up, man?" And you know,
That's
said,
crazy.
You know, because he was a very cool guy.
Nah, he was cool, man.
Yeah,
I
he
liked
was
him a
cool
lot.
guy. Yeah, he would come down to the shop. You know.
I like that dude a lot.
I,
He is-
I also listened to a lot of
Little
punk
Therapy.
and metal and shit back in the day. You know,
That's
like
dope.
a lot of that. You know, like Ramones is probably my favorite band.
yeah.
You know, I love
Fuck with
Pantera.
Ramones.
You know, all their bullshit
Les
aside, it's
Claypool
one
and
of
all
my
that.
biggest ones. I love Primus. 'cause I
Primus,
played
yeah,
bass, I
yeah,
love
come
Primus.
on. You gotta love it. If,
Yeah, you know, Scarface, I think is one of the baddest motherfuckers. Big L is probably, I think if Big L lived, would have been.
Oh, bro.
He would have changed a lot of things.
Right.
You know, he had the punchlines and the craziness of Eminem, but also like the suaveness of like a Jay-Z. Or
Smooth,
something, you know, and
flamboyant for
Yeah.
life.
He's the guy that made me know it wasn't like if we called ourselves flamboyant, everybody would have
It was
been
a whole
talking
different
shit.
thing.
But when he said, I was like, okay, that's
like,
not
I'm
a bad
flossing.
thing.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a good thing.
I'm fresh to
you know,
death.
growing up, you know, not that PC at the time, you know.
Right, right.
Yeah, no, Big L, Bun B, you know. So
Right,
yeah, I mean a lot of
right.
and really, I mean, Alcoholics,
Right.
fucking Rascas, fucking Slum Village. I mean, I've been
All that
Yeah,
shit.
you know what I'm
Slum
saying? You know,
Village.
so yeah.
I had to add someone kind of like to my top 5 the other day, bro, or at least make him number 6. But Grand Poobah from Brand New.
Brand New.
Yeah.
Sadot X is
Nubian.
probably my favorite out of them.
Like,
The
he
Wild
just had that
Cowboys album.
fire.
I have a song with Sadot X that isn't out yet.
Oh, shit.
It's dope as fuck. And I've got Dawit. I don't know if you guys know Dawit.
Yeah,
but
I've seen
Dawit's
him last
doing
night, the other night.
He's doing the hook on that track. And yeah, it's those. I love Brand Nubian. I really like Sadot X. I really like Lord Jamar on the internet.
Yeah.
He cracks me the fuck up.
It's hilarious.
I mean, he don't like me, I think, as much as I like him, but I do like Lord Jamar. You know? I think he's very entertaining, and makes a lot of good points. You know what I mean? You know? And he's also, if you watch him from early to later, he's grown up. You know, he
Right.
used to just say whatever, and now he's like very
Gotta think about that
more
shit.
solid about it.
well. And also probably had a lot of people go,
Yeah.
"You're wrong,"
You hear yourself enough times.
and when you're
too.
wrong, you're wrong. You know, and
You
that's
hear
okay,
yourself enough
you know?
times too, and you fuck up, and you're
Yeah.
like, "Fuck,
Yeah,
I need to chill."
But Grand Poobah is definitely the most fun out of those three guys. I just like Sadat. The Wild Cowboys album is
They're
my
all
shit,
tight.
man.
Like, they really
That's
are.
a team right there.
I just
dude.
think Poobah has like the lyrics. Like he's
Yeah.
the one with like a couple solo tracks on the first album, and that's
Well, the album, with Punk Shove Up Get Beat Down, Poobah wasn't on that
No.
album, and that's when they kind of got a little more mad.
They're beefing. And,
Yeah, and then when Poobah came back, they did the Don't Let It Go to Your Head, and they got more like back the way they started. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, I like them a lot, man.
Man, Brian Nubian,
Yeah, I mean,
fresh to death.
you talk about hip hop, it's hard not to bring up like Tribe Called Quest.
Right.
Yeah, for
You know,
sure,
I mean,
right.
the Ice Cube is probably one of my favorite top fives for sure. Especially Ice Cube to me is like Metallica. You know, you got your first,
Solid.
5 albums or 3 albums, whatever, 4 of Ice Cube, and then you got the other ones.
Right.
That's kind of how Metallica is. It's like there was a breaking point where I'm like, okay, I still dig you, but
Right.
I'm kind of more on this side of
right.
things, but that's okay.
Yeah, and the NWA shit even before.
Oh, dude, Ice Cube's bad. I watched him on YouTube the other day and watched him do
He's
that
fucking
opening set for LL Cool J
Yeah.
in New
Oh,
York.
yeah.
And
I've seen that.
it was dope.
Yeah, that shit's
know.
dope
No
video.
Vaseline
That's
to
a-
this day is the baddest diss track ever made to me.
I
And
would-
Dub C's bad, and that's his hype man.
Yeah.
Right.
You know you're bad when your hype man is Dub C, dude. Like
Right.
you did something right.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Hey, talk about early Cadava days. How that shit started.
So Cadava, so Bags of Dagger was what we called our crew, and in '99 North Denver, North High School days, and that was with me, Crooked Hooks, Dr. Rotten, a.k.a. Nate, Paulie Brolin. We had a guy beatboxing named Henry Hill, and a guy DJing named DJ Organic. DJ Organic and Henry Hill left after the first set of songs, and then Paulie and I made an album in 2001, something. I was already kind of living on my own, so it was after high school. Put that album out, and then he left also, and it was kind of me and Hooks and Nate, and we kept it going with Cadava Avenue. And then by then I was old enough to be playing shows, at least somewhat. And I met Ozma playing shows, and then Manic, who was also from North Denver.
That's what I was gonna ask. Is everyone from the north or what?
Ozma was, I think Ozma went to GW or something. But Manic was also North Denver. And Manic was always around us hanging out, and it was probably about 2003, 4 or something when Manic was always rhyming with us, and Hooks was like, we should just put him on the albums, like he's just dope or better than us. So then he kind of came into the fold. Ozma was in the fold. Life the MC from Raw Foundation was with us for a little while. And then as time went on, we kind of dropped the Bags of Dagga thing. We had an album called Cadava Avenue, and it kind of flowed. The name stuck, the Cadava Avenue thing. Cadava Records really was never our name. That was our company. Mm-hmm. And Cadava was more our name, but everybody put records after it because they just figured, and we couldn't really ever shake it. So it's just what it is.
Fuck it.
It's what it is, But it was, to me, it felt too much. It was too dated, but you can't really shake it. That's our shit, And then over the years, I guess Ozma kind of went and did his own thing. Life the MC was, he was with us for a few years. I got mad love for him, but he did the one album and did a lot of shows. KO, yeah. And then as of late, we all still hang out all the time. It's easy to hang out with your friends when you own a bar, though. But
right.
But Hooks and I have made a series of records. He's on my new album. Manic was on the album before last that I put out 2 years ago. Nate's actually in jail, so I haven't done any music with him for a little bit, but hopefully he gets out soon. Yeah, in a nutshell, that's it, man.
And you got an album coming out, right?
I do, man. It comes out the 12th of September.
Talk about that album. What can we expect?
It is, it's called In the Desert, Not Defeated. I'm wearing a ring right now that has kind of you can't see it, nobody.
Put it right here.
But it's in Latin. It has some Latin writing on it, and what it says is, even in the desert, not defeated. This ring I got made to look like a ring that my dad had that he got from his grandpa, and it was kind of something that they would, I guess, my dad took that they would say, and it was an old saying, but basically talking about our family, not being tough, not tough like we'll kill everybody, but tough like we're resilient,
right.
And in the last year and a half, my dad had passed away. And
sorry to hear that.
It's all good.
It's Broadway.
But so the title came from that, and a lot of the music on there. One song specifically talks a lot about my dad, but he had a rough last year, and I was kind of his caretaker, and so that was a lot of fucking work. But
I feel you.
That's good, But the album cover is really cool. Hooks is an artist outside of making music, and he actually drew a picture of my dad and my grandfather and my cousin, who all passed, sitting at a table in the bar at Bar Red. Right. And that's my cover for the album, and it's called In the Desert, Not Defeated. So all that's very personal to me. But I'm at that age where, I'm glad if I fucking get 5,000 plays,
No,
you know what I mean?
That's dope for you.
But the music is dope, dude. There's a couple songs I play guitar on. I can play guitar just from my days of trying to do metal shit and everything.
From the metal days.
Yeah,
Sick.
And then you're on all the production.
I did every
You make
beat.
all the beats, yeah.
I did every beat.
Still. That's dope.
Yeah, it's dope, man.
That's
It's 11 songs. I got copyright from Weatherman on there, on the first single, and me and Hooks do that. So, the album's hard, man.
I'm gonna check that out.
I made a goal a couple of years ago that I was gonna put, hopefully 2 projects out a year, You know,
Oh, dope.
Like fuck it, man.
Yeah,
you
just
know,
put 'em out. Right.
It's I've been pretty much on my shit. You know, COVID 2020 helped because everybody was sitting at home on their phones.
Yeah.
I was at
I'll
work.
play your shit right now.
Yeah, you know, so I was just recording all my tracks in the basement at the bar before work, and then I would, you know, go to a studio and get them mixed and put them out, you know.
Right.
So, yeah, man.
Hey, I was gonna ask you, what was it like growing up in the North Side back in the days or in high school and stuff like that?
When I was a kid over there, my mom was a kid, and definitely when my grandpa was a kid, because they all went to North. There was more Italians, maybe, you know, they kind of, so in my house, you know, that was really like the feel, you know what I mean? But when I was growing up, it was more Mexican or Mexican American or whatever you want to say. But I mean, shit, there was, you know, panerias and fucking,
Everything was already
you know,
there.
places that made their own sausage and, you know, parks, and everybody hung out and smoked weed, and we all sold weed, and, you know, we listened to a lot of different kinds. You know, Northside had the funnest music, man, because, like, we listened to fucking hip-hop, like, whether it was East Coast shit, or it was Hyro, but we also listened to gangster rap like a motherfucker, and, you know, like Cutting Crew was over there. Fucking, we used to, when I was really little, we used to buy weed from some dude in Cutting Crew, and he would give us weed because we were rapping and shit, you know what I mean? Like, that shit was dope, dude.
Right.
You know, but my family all lived, you know, you could almost walk to everybody's houses, and, you know,
That's how it was.
It was beautiful, and the place was beautiful, man. It had trees and grass, but it was also kind of urban, and it was close to downtown.
Right by downtown,
A
straight
lot
down
of
the hill.
parks, you know. I mean, it was had its spots or its times that it was kind of dangerous, and you know what I mean.
Right.
You know, you knew which way to walk home. Sometimes, you know, a lot of
Right.
parties would get shot up and shit like that, but not, you know, 90% of the time everything was just fun and love, and you knew everybody, and you know. And now
Yeah,
it's a very
It was a culture shock for me. I went to North after Manual.
my sister
I went to Manual first. I grew up in the East Side, Swansea, you know.
Yeah.
Then I went to North, and man, that was the whole thing. That was crazy to me is that everybody was really cool. I was a freshman when you were a senior.
Yeah.
And so that was like, I think at that time everybody was just like so cool and hung out together, and there was
a lot of
little separations, but
not
they weren't-
much.
There wasn't much at all.
No.
Even like all the different like little groups of
Dude,
kids
like
hung out
at
together.
lunch, bro. Like I'd go to lunch with some dudes that were hardcore motherfucking Northside dudes,
Right,
And also like a dude that was a total dork.
Yeah.
Right.
And like,
And then
you know what I
little-
mean?
and
And
the
some
metalhead
hip hop
homies
dudes,
or
and maybe a
something.
guy who plays football, and like we all just because we had the same lunch period, there wasn't like a lot of that like, you know,
That's
these
who
guys
you got
hang
to
here,
pick
hang here,
from type of shit.
right? Well, they were everybody. There wasn't a lot of bullies and shit.
Nah,
like
nah.
you know, everybody was real cool. Or bullies. I don't know how to say. My girl always says I say that wrong.
Right.
But yeah, they North was fun, man. The neighborhood I think reflected that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I think so,
You know,
for
and
sure.
I think having my grandpa there, who you know went to North also. My grandpa's picture was in the trophy case for wrestling
Damn,
at
that's
North when I was there, and my grandpa was born in like the 20s. You know, I
Nice.
mean, you know what I'm saying? Like that. That's old school shit. You know, so
Right.
yeah. I lived across the street from a park for a long time, and we threw parties all the time. We'd be in the park. We sold weed and. You know,
You were
made
talking
music
about
and-
that, right?
Yeah, man, I would roll up to this park all the time.
I
and
seen him as
just-
little shorty, right? Because you're younger.
I was young. Yeah, I was younger, and we'd roll up and after fucking practice or whatever we were doing, and go chill out at the park.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and
That's so
my
sick.
house kind of had like a stoop.
That's where I got
Kinda.
Cadava Avenue.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely,
where
man.
That's where I got Cadava. That's
Yeah.
the first time I ever listened to it. You gave
Yeah.
it to me right there.
Yeah, dude. We were always promoting. You know,
Right.
Ah,
and
yeah,
then-
exactly.
But yeah, man. I miss it a lot. I go over there. There's a really good Mexican restaurant like 2 blocks down from Gaetano's on I guess 46th in Tejon. And my fucking head, I can't think of the name, but we go there and eat a lot. That's probably the most time I spend in the North Side because we love that restaurant.
Yeah.
But it's weird over there, bro. There's a lot of places that I remember being around, and it's like it just ain't the same,
Right.
you know. But
No,
whatever.
it's
you know.
not. It's not for sure. I mean, the East Side isn't the same, and that was
No.
for me. I mean, that was a grimy place. Like the
Yeah.
you know, when you talk about like North, you know, it being there was like times there, but in the East Side and Emmanuel, it was always like
Yeah. Well, I remember
the gangbanging was serious.
when I
It was
went to
on-
North.
it'd be on your toes.
Manual and North were on the list to get shut down.
Yeah.
Possibly.
They
And
actually shut down
Manual was
Manual.
like, I think, rated as the worst school.
Yeah.
And North was like the second one or
Right,
third one or something.
right.
You know, and West kind of did get shut down.
Yeah.
Kind
No,
of,
Manual
like-
got shut down.
Manual was kaput,
They
right?
shut that shit down.
Yeah, that was the end of that.
That's when I
So-
went to North.
Okay, so it was that.
Yeah. So
My
around-
sister went to Manual, but that was in. My sister's like 10 years older than me, so that would have been late 80s. You know, but it was shit then too.
Right.
You know, it's too bad. I don't know. I mean, I'm glad to see the school still going. When I go by North, like the high school, it kind of looks the same.
No, it's a different. It's definitely there's money now in the north
Yeah.
side, and the property tax dictates school,
Yeah.
budgets and shit like that. And now I guess they're doing some cool shit there. They got some. I got immortalized there. They put Zoot Suit fucking
Oh, sweet.
riots poster in
the
the
Zoot Suit riots
in
thing.
the
I remember
library.
that.
Yeah,
that was huge. It was in Westward. and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah. I was
Yeah.
on the front cover of the Westward
Yeah,
for
dude, I
that
remember
shit.
that.
Bro. That shit was
Damn.
crazy.
We
So I-
we hung that up in the cigarette shop.
yeah, that's fucking.
We
tight.
did because we were like, dude,
That's
we know
tight.
these motherfuckers.
Yeah,
I
that's
remember
tight.
that.
Yeah, we
Fuck, I haven't thought
that's where
about
we would go from practice to
that. Yeah.
to there.
That's
Shit, dude,
wild.
I
That
shit
forgot
was
about
crazy,
that, man. That's
yeah.
cool.
That shit was dope. But
Yeah, I don't know. I miss it. I mean, on the other hand, whatever.
it was different.
You know.
Even Lowell and 32nd, all that shit was
32nd and Lowell, dude, when I was a kid, it was like Pizza Alley was there.
Pizza
I'll
Alley.
give them that. But like BJ's was where the, Three Dogs
Three Dogs.
was
Yeah.
BJ's Market. And
Right.
like you'd go there and play Pac-Man and shit, you know. And
Right.
there was like liquor stores and a laundromat
Right.
and a video store, you know.
Coffee
and
shop opened up like
Common Grounds was there.
was the shit.
Through my little cousin, Mary Cavallari, was the barista.
Everybody was. Ellie was the
Allie and
Joaquin,
Allie and
Joaquin and
Mary were
Emily,
buddies, you know?
Emily and fucking.
Yeah.
They all worked there.
Yeah.
That was the
Absolutely.
shit. I fucking.
Dude, we'd go in there. This was later, the time jumping, but when we had the steakhouse at the club, we would close the steakhouse, and Tomas, that runs the bar with me, he and I, we get so fucked up after we close the steakhouse, and we go do whatever, and then we'd go to Common Grounds when they open,
In the
like
morning.
with all the fucking yuppies and shit would be in there getting their coffee, but
yeah.
we're just coming. We're like in suits, looking all fucked up
From
you
the
know?
night before, all fucked.
Yeah, it was fun. But I felt like I owned it. You know, I walked in
Right.
like, "But you guys are
I grew
you're
up
mine,
here.
and that's my cousin."
Right.
And she's probably going, "Son of a bitch," you know,
Yeah,
like, well, thanks for coming in and being fucking weird, you know. But,
Yeah, man, that shit was dope. That was a cool fucking hangout.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
a good spot. You could just hang out there too.
yeah, absolutely.
That was the
man.
thing. Now it's too stuffy. You don't feel
I don't
comfortable
like
just
it.
chilling.
Yeah.
You can't
Yeah,
do it.
People all up
like
on
I
you.
said, I mean, we'll go over there and eat, you know.
Yeah.
I didn't go to that thing at La Raza Park yesterday, but I went the year before, you know,
Yeah.
with the cars and everything, and
Right.
that's kind of fun because it kind of feels
The people
kind
are
of
there again.
ungentrified or something.
Right,
you know,
for a
like-
second.
Right.
Yeah, but we didn't go yesterday. We had shit to do.
Right.
But yeah, I wish, you know. But other than that, man, I don't know. It's weird. But even that's weird because you go there and there's a big old line of, you know, I mean, I sound stupid saying, but like white folks that aren't not from
Here
that
to look at
neighborhood
the culture, like
going there to
oh.
talk to, you know, some Native Americans about something. What the fuck are you doing, dude? Like, you know, I'm not in that fucking line, and I grew up here. Get out of that line, bro.
Right.
You know, but I don't know.
No,
That's what it is.
that's what it
It's
is though.
weird.
Now it's all a show. You know, we get to
Yeah.
play a little culture show for people who don't
I mean,
have it.
It's
If they're making money off of it, you know, at least they're making money off of it. I'm
Right.
talking about, you know,
Our people,
the
yeah,
right
the people,
making
yeah.
Right.
money off of it, you know,
And
not the
what-
white people.
and
the
that's
right
what matters.
Right.
That is what matters. You know.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
but,
Because what are you gonna do?
right.
You know, it's
Right.
unfortunate. I mean, I don't know. I like it when motherfuckers come in the bar, you know, from North Denver and, you know, kiss my ass because I actually was from North Denver.
Right.
But dudes that are actually from the North Side come in the bar is different. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You know, the conversations are very different. You know, but people that moved in the neighborhood, you kind of tell them all about it. It's like
Right,
you're taking
right.
them on
That's
a
a-
tour. You know,
yeah.
it's all bullshit. You know, and then
Right,
when I see
right.
guys I actually know, you know, it's normal.
Right.
You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
it's life.
So, yeah. Yeah.
And I was gonna say I've been watching a couple podcasts and they've been talking about like this new generation is where they need guidance for everything like that. They're like they want to know about like the hood
Yeah.
and what's going on, and it's like
They live vicariously.
what's going on here? Like you know?
Everything is vicarious. Even
Yeah.
I mean, look, fucking metaverse and
I mean,
shit.
totally. Well, me too. I mean, you know, on my way here, I was watching The Boys. You know, I'm like trying to get caught up on that show. But dude, I was in such a weird space when I got out of the, because I Ubered down here. When I got out of the car, I don't really come, you know, this far down
Right.
what are we on Hampton or Broadway?
Yeah, it's
I
the
don't even know
south.
fucking
Yeah,
where.
you're from the north side.
Inglewood, you know what I mean? And I got out of the car. I was like, dude, I got to get my fucking bearings, bro. I just was watching these motherfucking superheroes beat each other up and shit. And I was like, okay, where am I at, you know? And I got here early even for that because I mean, I know where the area is. I know it's past Herman's.
Right.
Like, Herman's is about as far
That's
as I
it right
go.
there, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I know Herman's, so where am I going, you know?
Right.
So, but I found a bar.
I know as a kid, man, we never came down here. We might go to
Not really.
Cinderella City every once in a while.
And the surplus store.
Yeah,
The surplus store, I would go there when I was a kid. That I recognize that.
spot.
You
I was
know?
like, I don't know how old you are, but Cinderella City used to have like a magic shop, bro.
Yeah,
and they used to sell the stink bombs that used to
Stink
take to
bombs.
school.
Remember that?
Yeah, dude.
Remember that? And then Fantastic Nathan's was in the
Yeah,
basement.
Fantastic Nathan's.
Bro, that shit was
Yeah.
fucking sick. My cousin lived down the street. He grew up over here.
Cinderella City and Villa Italia I almost put in the same
Yeah, that same
paragraph.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's Belmar now is Villa Italia.
I mean,
right? I mean, that's different.
I think you
know?
could quote me on this, but I believe Inglewood, Cinderella City was the first mall
I believe it.
ever.
It was that big.
Damn.
And old,
Ever.
you know?
I know it was big,
It was
like
big.
2 levels,
It was
like
huge.
kind of
It was-
crazy.
like, I grew up by Lakeside Mall.
yeah.
Right.
And that mall was like a dirt mall even when it was happening.
Even when
dude.
it was
Like,
popping. Yeah,
Dude,
I
it
was,
was popping though. Shit.
But it was where you go to hang out, not where you go to shop.
to
Like
shop.
they had
Oh,
like
no,
a
we would never go to
Because
hang
nobody
out
had
there.
money. It was
they had
the
a Sam
people who were
Goody
hanging
and they
out
had
there.
one of those kind of like Korean shops that sold like Bugs Bunny
I remember
throwing
that shit.
Northside
Yeah,
on a
yeah,
shirt
yeah,
or something,
yeah.
you know. And other than that, and maybe
They had the like Asian antique store with
Yeah.
the fucking swords and
yeah,
nunchucks and
exactly.
shit like
It's
that.
just but the basement had this food court that was shit. But the rest of it was empty, and everybody be down there skateboarding and smoking
Skateboarding.
cigarettes.
Yeah,
and shit,
exactly.
you know.
I remember they used to have the
Exactly.
haunted houses there because it was
Yeah,
empty.
dude. Scream Street.
Yep, Scream
Street was
Street.
there, and then Lakeside was the shit.
Damn.
You know, the actual
Right.
amusement park was
Right.
cool.
What was the Eminem CD that was really popping? Like his third one when he released it earlier, and I remember I got it at Lakeside Mall because
It was still going?
I had heard like it got bootlegged and they released it earlier, and I like drove, you know what I mean, Lakeside Mall and Sam Goody.
I
got
mean,
that
at the
shit.
era, I don't know if it was the second.
It was the third one, I want to say. The one, or no, maybe it was the second
I'm
one.
gonna say the second one, but I
It
don't
was
know.
the second one, I think.
I'm trying to think when that place got kind of torn down, but it was probably after that, 2005.
No, yeah, it was like 2005. It was that was when it lasted
Yeah.
till that Target was there at the last.
that was
thing,
the last leg.
And Target's
and
gone.
boom! Oh yeah,
You know,
Walmart's there.
Walmart's there.
Yeah.
That Walmart is fucking not my favorite Walmart.
No,
bro.
that's the fucking.
As far as Walmarts go.
it's a
Why is
shitty
that?
Walmart.
Every time
It's
I
a
go there,
shitty
it's just a
Walmart.
shit show, bro. It's too.
Walmart usually is.
Walmart's a shit show, but
Walmart's a shit.
I'll tell you what, the one over there is worse than the one on.
And all of the rest of them.
Well, Pearson,
Colfax and-
Colfax, or what is it?
Colfax and Wadsworth.
Wadsworth, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that one's better, and that's not saying much. you
Because
know.
it's on Colfax and
the
fucking.
nice
Wadsworth,
one's
so-
like in Aurora. It's like huge.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
Rabaho
like,
too.
Yeah,
Rabaho.
Yeah.
because
Nice.
they're bigger.
No one-
They're
yeah.
the
Right.
condensed
Super-
ones are just kind of shit. I don't
The
know.
super Walmarts.
Yeah, not to take anything away from Walmart though. I mean, I'm not saying I don't go. I'm just saying if I got my choice, it's not the Lakeside.
I
Walmart.
don't go to Walmart, man. I can't. I'll fucking just go to Target. Like fuck it. I'm gonna up it a little bit.
Before they
Fuck Walmart.
stopped closing, if you could go there in the middle of the night, it was the shit.
Oh
Right,
yeah, when
right.
everything
And
was
then now that you got to
24/7.
go there when everybody else does, I'm
I used to
good,
go there
you know?
in the middle of the night just to people watch, bro. That shit
Yeah.
was fucking wild in
Yeah.
there. Like, what are you people
I like
doing
getting
in here?
dressed up.
They don't want to
So I know I'm like absolutely the best dressed motherfucker in that whole fucking place. You know what I mean?
get all
That's
fresh.
hilarious.
You
though.
know, I'm just kidding.
Just get all fresh as fuck.
You don't have to try very hard, but you know,
Right,
I'm
right,
just
right.
saying, you know.
Everybody else is wearing fucking Cookie Monster pants and shit.
I always steal the egg rolls
Pajama
when I'm in
pants.
line. You know, for the self
Yeah.
checkout, they got that thing with all the egg rolls. I'm like, they ain't gonna know if I eat 4 egg rolls while I'm, you know. That's why I can't get COVID. You know, because I can't.
Fucking, you're immune.
Yeah, I'm immune
been
from
doing
the
that
egg
for a
rolls
while.
at fucking Walmart. You know.
Yeah. That's what my homie used to do with his kids. He'd go in and get, at the little deli and shit, and get a bunch of chicken and
Start grubbing.
just walk around the whole thing and
Yeah.
eat all that shit and then throw it all away and maybe buy nothing,
right.
you know?
Yeah, that place is a pain in the ass. Before the streaming services got so prominent, I just like to go there in those DVD bins and buy every fucking movie I
Right.
didn't have when I was a kid.
Right.
You know what I mean? For like $30, you could walk out with like
All
fucking
kinds.
25 DVDs and shit. Now I have 1,000 DVDs, and I'm like, what the fuck do I do with
What did I
these?
do with them?
You know,
Man, you still have them?
in a box.
Holy shit.
But I'm not like a pack rat, but I also, like, fuck, they have the covers and shit.
Right,
I got all my
yeah.
CDs, bro. I have this immaculate CD collection. Starting when I was a teenager up to when you stopped buying CDs pretty much. I mean, it's fucking cool. And I follow all those on Facebook. There's like CD groups that like collect hip hop CDs.
I wish I would have just kept all my shit, because I really was just like, fuck, I got all this music.
Dude, some of that
have it
shit's
all.
expensive,
Yeah.
bro. Like one of my exes, like she had got me a couple CDs for my birthday, and she paid like $30 for.
That's money now.
It was like Spice One, America's Most, America's
Yeah,
Most
if you got
Wanted.
hot shit in demand.
The first De La, she got me those two, and she spent like $60. They're out of print, I'm like,
I mean, it's kind of cool for me to see that there is a whole group of, because these are kids collecting these, they're not my age. I'm 40, 41. But these are fucking, kids, like teenagers on these sites that I follow, or 20-year-olds and shit. And they're like, oh, I found this fucking gym. And it's like 456 from Cool G Rap. And I'm like, fucking own that. You know what I mean? Like, it's more almost like it just makes me feel good to know that these kids are like, somebody gives a fuck.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Not that new music is, I could dig some of it, but my heart's, back in the day.
Back in the day.
Well, there's
It
so
is.
much now. It's hard to even get, like, how we were talking about Pac and Cube and all these cats. Like, back in the day, that was what we we really didn't have as much to pick from nationally.
Right.
Like,
If you went to Sam Goody
yeah, there was only
or
so
something,
much there.
yeah, you were. Well, I used to.
There was other stuff, but we didn't even know what it was, so we're not gonna buy a fucking CD.
You know what I would do is I would
Go
buy
listen.
those maxi singles, the little tapes that were in
yeah.
cardboard. I have a ton of those, dude, and they were always cheap.
Right.
So I would buy. I have a Rascast one that I couldn't fucking dig out of my storage to take to the show the other day to try to get him to sign
Have
it.
him sign it?
I couldn't pull it off. But I mean, I've got some. Dude, I have the first printing of Protect Your Neck from Wu-Tang on the maxi single.
Oh, shit.
The one they pull out of the
No
trunk on that old
fucking
school
way.
MTV documentary. And
Holy
I actually
shit.
bought that at Cheapo Discs in the used bin. And at the
What?
time, no one knew that this was a real deal. Dude, it's real. It's the real shit.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, like amongst like the kids I knew, like we'd look at it and be like, holy fuck, we have that. I mean, that's how it felt, like we all had it.
Right.
Now it's if I get in trouble, I can sell it. Make $400.
Right.
Just kidding.
You would believe some of this shit we probably have that's worth money.
Oh, dude, seriously, man. Yeah, I mean, I have Bones' first album,
Damn.
The Faces of Death album,
Faces
like
of
an
Death.
original printing of that.
Holy
I got a
shit.
good one for you.
What's it?
I got Southern Playalistic 12-inch
Damn.
Okay, you can't fuck with that.
autographed
Signed.
Oh wow,
by Andre and Big Boy.
you need to get one of
And
those killer frames.
I got it framed and everything. I just need a spot, bro.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Shit,
Yeah.
the game room's been planned out for 10 years. You know what I mean?
Dude, that's no joke, man.
You got a bunch of shit like that, though.
I have tons of shit like that, bro. Like,
I bet your collection is
He got the thick
one to
collection.
be reckoned with. You know what I mean?
it's all right, bro.
I don't know.
It's all right. I mean, like I would say, like amongst normal folks, it's probably cool. You know what I mean? Good.
Yeah, but like real
But you get
collectors.
someone, but I do got some gems though too.
But just like
I
hip hop
bet.
heads who didn't expect, shit to go like this. Like you
Well,
got.
I was a little late to the game on Outkast. I mean, I first heard Outkast in this homeboy's car, and it was Elevators.
Yeah.
And he had a system in his car, and that song sounded so crazy to me. I never heard nothing like, with the
Right.
bass. And,
Yeah.
But it was also like most of the shit with bass was kind of like aggressive music.
Right.
And that shit was like not.
Smooth player
Yeah,
shit.
but almost like it was the future.
Right.
It was kind of like when I heard Break Your Neck from Busta Rhymes. I remember thinking, oh, fuck, is this what music's going to sound like now? I was like,
right.
holy shit, and it's not exactly what happened.
Break your
but,
neck.
But, or early Busta even, like,
Oh,
put your
yeah.
hands where my eyes could see. Like,
all
he
that
always,
shit.
or Timberland.
stepped it up.
Like, there was,
Timberland.
but I think that Outkast, when I first heard him, I was like, because their first album
I was
came
blown
later
away.
for me.
And you're talking about production too. Like most,
It's all
like,
production.
You're
yeah.
talking about
Yeah.
production.
Rhyme
Like,
and
that was-
a lot of these dudes would rhyme really wild, but there was a lot of like gangster rap shit that rhymed wild that I think now people appreciate more than when the hip hop shit hit,
Right.
and they were like, "Oh, this ain't MCing."
it ain't hip hop.
But now it's kind of like, well, what where do you draw this line, bro? Because
Right,
these dudes were
right.
doing that weird stop and start shit back in the day.
Back in the day,
I mean, you
right.
could take a simple person like E40. He rhymed crazier than every fucking buddy,
Right.
and people would write him off, and I'm like.
Nah,
Well, you
E40's
fucking rhyme like that. Try to fucking
Right.
rap. Try to
E40's
even
on a
write
whole
like
other
that.
level.
What's
He
his
created
piece of
this
paper
whole
look like? Like, that's fucking crazy, you know? Like, I can't visualize how he wrote this down. Like, this dude's got a fucking thing going, you know? It's crazy, you know?
He's crazy. And he's
That's another guy.
whole movement. He's a cult movement in fucking
He's
the
a
Bay
guy
Area.
that he actually came up with, like, a term, you know? Like, Ghost riding the whip and, you know, top of the line Ryan. And, like,
he had his own language.
He literally had a dictionary.
Yeah.
He didn't have, like, the E40 fucking...
Kind of like...
I think he said he was going to, but he never officially came out.
He was,
with
like, going to put it out?
But that was the thing, because I honestly saw an interview with him. He was like, the funniest shit, homie. He's like, when folks talk about my dictionary and, like, how they read it and everything, like, it never came out.
There is no such thing.
It was an idea,
he
but,
talked
like...
about it, yeah. He did
But you're right. He had his own style, own language, whole everything,
He
bro.
has his own fucking culture.
Ghostface.
Oh,
Ghostface would write rhymes where I'm like, that shit's hard as fuck, but I really do not understand what's going on. But it's fucking dope, you know. I understood he was talking about the color of his shoes sometimes or something like that, but other shit, I'm like, I don't know. It just sounds cool. He looks cool, you know. He's with the cool guys.
Right.
Hey, you've done tons of shows too, man. Who are some of the people you've opened up for? I know you're always in that mix.
I like, you know, not to be a jerk, but I probably played almost 1,000 shows. I played a lot of fucking shows, from shit shows to good shows.
Right.
My favorite shows. I opened Jedi Mind Tricks. I opened Nonfiction. I opened Too Short. I opened Mac 10.
Damn.
I opened Jizza.
Was Mac 10 at Cervantes?
Yeah.
I remember that.
It was dope.
Yeah,
it was dope.
There's not many people there.
I opened, I did a lot of shows with Guru. I kind of knew Guru, which was really big deal to me. We did the Jazzmatazz, like, stint that he did.
Right. What do you think of the guy that he was fucking with?
Solar. I met Solar and I didn't.
He was a fucking
I didn't pay any
weirdo.
mind to him, dude. He really was just some guy there. But I have pictures with Guru and
where he jumps
Solar
in.
is right there. It wasn't until later that I heard about all this shit that I figured out Solar was a weirdo.
Yeah.
But you know, I don't care. I mean, if that's his friend, that's his friend, and if he did bad business with people, that's not my problem. And I'm glad that Premier was able to put that last Gangstar album out that kind of set the record straight. And that's kind of where I'm at with it. I mean, you know, because there's a lot of weird. Oh, did you hear this rumor? And I ain't getting into it. I don't give a fuck. You know?
Well, like you said, he came here a couple. He played. I remember him playing at Cervantes a couple times.
We opened Guru's Jazzmatazz tour 4 times, I think. Enough to where I was on a first name basis with Guru. I mean, that meant a lot to me.
Yeah, no, he's my favorite. He's one of my top 5.
Guru
for sure.
had like a birthday party or something at Crave, I guess, over there by 1515 downtown. And C1 from Food Chain, Corey's my buddy.
Yeah.
He texted me and he said, yo, man, fucking Guru's down here and you should come by. So I'm not a big nightclub. I'm not into like dance clubs or anything like that, you know. But I went and made my way through all these people. I went upstairs and they had this big velvet curtain and everything. And I go and I'm like, hey, Guru, Corey, you know, and like, dude, Guru's seen me. And he got up and came and said, yo, man, what are you doing? And let me back there.
Hell yeah.
And Corey, you know, was, you know, there or whatever. And I had a drink and I left because I just wasn't my scene. But, I mean, I knew Guru that good.
That's tight.
That good. I have pictures with him. He signed all my set. Back in the day, we actually had CDs. And, you know, now Guru, big one for me. I opened for Cycle Room. That was a big one for me, man. I opened for Everlast. You know, that was a big. It was a half hip hop, half whatever the fuck, you know, show. But it was, and I like some of his blue shit, but it was still cool. And, you know, like I don't know, a lot of people. I opened for Raskaz back in the day. Shit, dude. I opened for Tech Nine, sold out show at the Ogden before Tech Nine was big, but he still was selling shit out. That shit blew my fucking mind. That made me rethink like shows, period, dude. Like we're standing there, we're the first group. It was us and then this group Critical Bill. I don't know if you remember them, but they were like a strange music rock band kind of. Okay. But they would do like covers of like metal or of hip hop songs, like kind of in this metal vein, you know. And then it was the usual guys like Chris Calico, whatever. And we're waiting. They told us, you know, you got to come backstage. And we're standing there, dude, in the fucking crowd. I mean, it's sold out. And they are banging like their feet in their hands. And they're like, start the show, start the show. And we're standing backstage like, oh no, you know, like, because we had played, we played some shows, but this shit was packed. And we went out there and it was, I mean, we killed it, but I don't know that they even cared who went on.
Right.
But we at least we had our shit together.
Music,
but
yeah, they just needed
and these were the days when we had Ozma and so it was Ozma, Hooks, Manic, Nate, me, and KO all in the group. And Samurai Guy was our DJ. I don't want to leave him out. But we could cater our sets really well to who we were opening for. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So if we were opening for Necro, we'd hit him with like Hooks and Status, kind of darker, quasi horrorcore shit. If we were opening for fucking Dead Prez, we'd start more on the Ozma side of things. You know what I mean? And we used to practice. We knew everybody's shit. I mean, we were, but we were also kids and we were drunk the whole fucking time and had no idea that we were like actually
doing some dope
being
shit.
kind of successful. And instead of fucking making friends, we were, you know what I mean?
Getting lit.
We were kids.
Hey, having fun.
And it's what it is, And I think that's, you find that out later. You find out you're old. Right. You go, oh, fuck, I'm old now, and that shit happened in my prime, and I spent half that fucking time drinking and talking shit, and, oh, well, it is what it is. But I made enough friends and connections and shit that I'm still able to keep it going. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah. Doing all those shows and open up for a gang of people, have you ever done it with any assholes or any bougie-ass motherfuckers?
Yeah, there's a handful of people that I don't really like when the mics are off, I'll say anything you want me to say. But I guess like the Beat Nuts were super weird. We opened for them, and I remember after the set, we kind of went to them. We were like, oh, we opened the show. Plus, we used to bring a lot of people.
Right.
Like we really, it wasn't really pay to play, like how people make you sell tickets now. But back then, they would give you tickets. Mm-hmm. If you sold them, great. If you didn't, you didn't. But if you sold a lot, you really secured your position to open right before the group, And I think Beat Nuts, we probably sold 75 tickets to that, and it's Beat Nuts. It was easy to sell, but also they were there to support us. Right. So we tried to kind of say what's up to the Beat Nuts after they got off stage. We're like, yo, we promoted the show for you. We opened whatever. And they told me, they said, you guys could get one picture with us or something to that effect. And I remember thinking like, oh, shit, fuck it. Right. Like, I don't even care. Like, it was weird because I love the Beat Nuts.
Yeah.
You say it was after the show, right?
Yeah. Because they weren't hanging out before the show.
Was that the weird show?
It was at Cervantes.
Where that, I ain't going to say who it was, but they, like, fucking tied, like, one of the dude's shoestrings together and he, like, flipped out.
Oh, I don't want to tell you.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know all about that. I know too much about that. I don't even No, that was the Clips.
Oh, that was the Clips.
That was the Clips.
And you do know about that.
Oh, I know exactly. I know everything.
You have to say any names or anything? What happened?
That was.
It was some weirdo shit like that.
No, that was us. That was Nate and Hooks. They fucking did that.
And they were they basically.
It was a big. It was. Well, they were fucking punk. They didn't give a fuck.
Explain.
I don't know. Like the Clip show didn't pack.
Right.
We sold a lot of. Most people there were there. Not. I don't want to say most. But a lot of people there were there because we sold them tickets. We're not really a Clips crowd. Right. And Clips, I don't know, the promotion was off on that show. Let's just say what it is. The Clips. Yeah. They should have fucking had some people.
Well, all those shows were kind of off there for a moment. Because you talk about the Clips. Yeah. You talk about Pharoah Monch. I know we all went to these shows.
Yeah, we opened for Monch when he had a band.
Remember Slaughterhouse? There wasn't many people there.
I didn't go.
You got Slaughterhouse, bro, and there's like 20 people in the crowd.
Yeah.
Like like real. So,
the Clips thing, I think more so when that happened, I think we were just drunk and sick of the whole marathon of the whole situation and getting treated like shit. Nobody's there, and then the Clips, their management was
being assholes or what?
Yeah, like they would always kind of, they wouldn't let you. Like we're slaving, getting this fucking slave is a bad word, but we're pushing to get people in this fucking show. And we show up on time, and we have our shit together, and we sold tickets and whatever. Then you get there, and fucking there's nobody there, and everybody's treating us,
like shit,
weird. And I think that, Hooks just said, fuck it. I don't even think he knew he was tying one of the Clips dudes' fucking shoes together.
Right.
I think he just thought it was funny. The same way Hooks would go break a window with a fucking brick back in the day in the north side because he's an asshole like that. He's a good dude, but, he's wild, dude. He's punk rock, dude. He don't care. And unless this happened 2 times, I think that's the story, bro.
Right, so he basically, untied their shoestrings.
No, their shoes were untied as fuck.
Tied them together.
He just tied the 2 laces. Like, I remember on the side of the stage, like, there's the speaker, and the dude's standing there. And he's standing there, and his fucking laces are there, and he just tied them and looked at me, and I was like, fucking stupid, and we moved.
And what did
You know,
what
I
did
can't
they-
believe you brought that up of all fucking things. Jesus Christ.
what did they do? Did he? Because I wasn't there.
He didn't fall, but he definitely.
I wasn't
Sure,
there
like-
for that show. I don't know
I'm
why.
sure it wasn't the coolest thing that ever happened to him. You know what I mean? Nothing really came of it, but it didn't add or take away from the fucked up vibe at that show. You know, Cervantes had that fucking problem where they would put people on at 1 a.m. and
Oh man.
I've been to
marathon it, and you know.
I've been to concerts there late as fuck back in
Yeah.
the day, like 2, 3 in the
I
morning.
know,
like,
and sometimes that's what's up.
Yeah.
And sometimes when there's nobody there,
It's
and
whack.
you know what I mean. It was rough, dude. I mean, you know, and I don't want to act like I'm above it because you know we put those shows on at Bar Red, and you know we put the headliner on late, but at least we know we're doing that.
Right.
Then you know there's a schedule, and it's a contained thing. You know what I mean? But no, Cervantes, you didn't know what you were getting into. You would get there, and they would, you know. I remember we had opened for Mortal Technique a couple times, right? And so we had sold a lot of tickets to this Immortal show, probably 90 something. I mean, a lot.
times how much? 20?
Yeah, probably sounds right, you know. And I think we would get paid 10% or something, and then we got a slot, and then we could get a booth, and we could drink. You know, that's the
Right.
level we were working
Right.
at. And we had sold all these fucking tickets, and then Cervantes hit us up and said Immortal Technique.
Oh, I know what you're talking. I know
Yeah,
where you're going.
said
with this.
no
Exactly.
openers, no locals. And, you know, we're like,
Fuck that shit.
I mean, okay, but like, what about us? Like, you know, you could call us local, but we're
So-
probably bringing a fourth of the people. Like,
Right,
you know, that
right.
place only fits 400 fucking people or something. So, you know what I did? I called Black Pegasus, and Black P was at that time would be on most of these gigs with Immortal, and Black P actually, whatever he did, called me back and said, "You guys are good," and smoothed it out when we did play that show. But and then we told Immortal later, so what the fuck you trying to kick us off the gig? And he, you know, he was like, well, it's not you guys. He goes, just that they stack these bills. He's not wrong.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm like, dude, they stack these bills because their promotion's all fucked up and like,
Well, they didn't really do them too bad back in the day. I mean, you might have 2 or 3 openers. Not like now where you'd have fucking 10, 15,
yeah,
dog.
yeah. I think your average, you're looking
Everybody
at
got
the main
5
group,
minutes.
their support plus 7 motherfuckers. I think that's almost. But if people keep their sets short, I don't think that's a bad thing.
Right.
You know, if people are playing 12 minutes, because if you can't get it done in 12 minutes, why do you think you could get it done in 25 fucking minutes?
Right.
When you're just some guy that brought your cousins and shit. You know what I mean? Like that, you know. But back in the day at Cervantes, they would let people play 40-minute sets.
Oh, damn.
Right.
I mean, dude, they would tell us, you
Right.
got 40 minutes. And I'm like, 40 minutes?
The fuck is that?
How are we going to do that and smoke and drink the whole fucking night? You know, like, I can't even fucking breathe, you know? But, yeah, I mean, yeah, but you know, Black P came through for us on that. You
Oh,
know?
shout out,
That's
shout
That's
out.
the facts, you know. And-
That's kind of the story I was trying to get out of you right there.
Yeah.
Because, you know what I mean? I
yeah,
know.
they tried to kick us off the bill and they put us back on the bill. And but it wasn't like I just complained. I was like, look, you know,
No, you got a fucking valid.
I got a bag sitting
Yeah.
here and like, you know, I'm going to keep it then. And they could come after me. There's no contracts. There's no fucking,
Right.
ain't nobody signing nothing. We're doing you a favor. You're doing us a favor. We shake hands. It works. We do it again. And then you can't just kick us off the bill.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, you could fuck us and make us go early or something, and we just have to deal with it. But to just say you can't play wasn't right, especially when everybody is, you know, like Manic. I remember he was young, man. He's younger than me. He was so goddamn mad. He sold a lot of tickets, and Manic is very talented.
Right.
I mean, extremely. And he had a lot of people going to see him specifically, and he thought, what the fuck? You know, I don't run around for fucking, 40 days trying to bop these tickets off to fucking be told the day of, oh, sorry. You know, that, and then what? You know? Yeah, that was a pisser, man. Cervantes, I would say 75% of the time I enjoyed it, and 25% of the time I was very disgruntled with that place, you know?
Right.
I liked Scott. I liked him. I don't think it was always Scott. You know, you remember Scott looked like Shaggy?
Yep.
Kind of from
Shaggy
Scooby.
looking dude.
I don't know. There's one guy. They were the 2 people that I dealt with were always in the tickets, and they were cool as fuck. But
Yeah,
there was
Scott.
the actual promoter, and I've mentioned him a couple of times, and he was a younger white cat, and he was just.
was it?
I don't remember his name. He's just a dick every time. Like,
No, Scott worked for Jay, who owned Cervantes. So we dealt with Scott and Jay.
I'm talking about the
directly.
guy that was probably booking those shows. But
Oh,
this
sure.
guy.
See, and we were always kind of sidestepping that. We would
Yeah.
kind of be like, I would see a show in Westward. It was before the internet, really before the, there was the internet. But we would look at the Westward and look at Cervantes' thing, and you'd see way down on the bottom that so-and-so's coming, and I'd call Scott, and say, can we get on this show? And he'd say, let me see. And he'd call me back, and generally he would say yes, but can you sell some tickets? But that's why we were able to make that happen, because we were good. You know, we were good for tickets. He didn't make us pay him. And there were times where we couldn't sell tickets. You know, it happened too.
Right.
You know, we'd be like, fuck, we sold 20 tickets, bro, because I guess nobody gives a shit about whoever, you know, but I don't know. Those are the fun days, though, you know.
Yeah, man, for sure. Like I said, I want to say the first time I ever seen you guys perform was at Cervantes. There was no one there,
Yeah.
but I remember you
We were
performed.
probably headlining it.
It was a local show. It was you guys performed. You and Ozma performed, because I have video from that show on one of my DVDs.
Oh, really?
Denton Raw Foundation performed. Black P performed.
Could have been.
And it was just like some local
Was it
show.
Cervantes? We used to do a lot of shit at Soiled Dove. Also, another,
That's before my time.
you know, there was some jokers
Soiled
there.
Dove, yeah.
Soiled Dove used to do a thing called the U-Night, and it was on Monday nights, and it was a local showcase. And when you're starting out, it was a big deal to get on it, because you could see some of these names, you know, that you recognize on the bill, and you fuck, you know, why can't we get on there? You know who gave me my first legit, like I had played shows, but my first like actual, where I felt like I feel like that was a hip hop show, was Dio and Ace from Ground Zero.
Shout out.
And they were, they would always be on the mall flyering, you know, and they would come in the shop, and I asked them, they gave me a flyer to the show, and I said, how could I get on this? You know, they were doing it at Sportsfield Rocks, you know, on Colfax and Wabash. Before it was Crystal Balls, and I think now it's more kind of a salsa club, but back in the day, it was like this dive that did hip hop. And they told me, they said, yeah, we can put you on next month. And I'm like,
Oh shit.
oh, really?
Yeah,
You know, and they're like,
that's-
yeah, you just got to promote it. And it was the show was an experience in itself. I mean, it was predominantly a black crowd, and me and Paulie Brawling were the only fucking white dudes in that place. And except for the door guy was this big, tough, white, old guy named Bear, who was serious, like big old dude.
Bear.
But we went in, and EMcees was the sound guy. You
Nice.
know, and he was very sweet. He made sure we sounded really good, and we killed that fucking show. We really did. I mean, we were on our shit. But then we got off stage, and they played play that funky music, White Boy. The DJ played it just to like make fun of us and shit, you know. And you know, I didn't take it too personal, because you can't. But I remember thinking, okay, that was a real ass hip hop show, because everywhere else it had a guy. You know, there'd be a guy playing guitar, and then there'd be a hip hop guy, and then you know, and it was
Right.
a local music showcase. This was a fucking hip hop show,
Local
and-
hip hop show.
yeah, like a real one, and it was packed. You know what I'm saying? And that really, I felt like, okay, I want to do that again.
That's tight.
You know what I mean? And we did, and they would put us on there. You know what I mean? And then the Unite guys would put us on, and then we'd play shows here and there. Eventually, I ran my own showcase at Herb's for 7
Damn, I
years.
forgot
Oh,
about that.
shit.
7 years,
Damn,
bro.
that's
2018 to 2014.
I forgot about that
Yeah.
shit.
Holy
You just
shit.
said that
The
shit.
Cadava night down there. And
Every
we-
Sunday?
Yeah, it was no, it was one Sunday a month.
Or once, but every once.
But for 7 years,
Yeah,
it's a
that's
lot of
cra-
fucking
I forgot
Sundays.
about that
And you
shit.
know, and we would put guys on, and we would play, and you know,
That's crazy.
yeah, that was the real deal, dude. That was the way that happened. We were supposed to play at the Marquee and open for R.A. the Rugged Man, and there was a snowstorm, like a blizzard, right? So when I was doing the cigarette stuff, I had like 30 bars that bought all their cigarettes from me.
Oh,
One of
tight.
them was Herb's, right, which is like a half a block down from the Marquee. So when we get to the Marquee, there's literally a sign on the door that says the show's been canceled due to weather. Or the Rugged Man's stuck in the blizzard, and it was snowing like a motherfucker. Like, it wasn't bullshit.
Right.
So we're like, fuck, and we sold a bunch of tickets to this. We knew, you know, we had people coming. And so I was like, let's go down to Herb's. I sell them cigarettes. They do live music every night,
Right.
you know, Herb's. So I went in there, and Robbie and Laura run Herb's. I think they own it. But Robbie's a really good guy, man. And I went to Robbie, and I said, hey, we have like 50 people coming to this show. And I mean, I bet you they show up. They all live in Denver, you know, fuck the weather, and they're dead. They're dead. It's snowing like a
Right.
motherfucker. And I was like, can we play here tonight? And I'll just put a fucking sign on their door that says, hey, if you're here to see, you know, Cadava, go, you know, down to Herb's. So he's like, yeah, that'd be fucking awesome, right? So then we put the sign up there, and this other group that was opening comes down to Herb's. They're like, yo, who's Cadava? Who's Cadava? And like Robbie's like, oh, that's Cadava. And he comes to me and he goes, hey, you guys are gonna play here? We said, yeah. And he goes, can we open for you guys here? Because we've got a bunch of people coming too, and like they just canceled that show. So I'm like, I mean, yeah, let's do it. So fucking, dude, we pack Herb's that night with all these people, and they're, you know, it was one of those like happy ending kind of things. And people still got their money back.
Hey, real quick, and this is when people actually drink.
This is when people drink.
Damn,
like you make money at the bar that night. On now, it's kind of hard.
People still got their money back for the tickets too. Which
they got their money. Well, because Marquis was being legit.
Right.
You know, they weren't trying to fuck nobody. It's just RA couldn't make it. And Marquis said, well, you know, because if you go there, they basically sell pizza and shows. And if there's no show, what are they going to sell? And it's snowing. And this was early days of Marquis. Marquis now is, you know, really a staple. Right. So fucking that show went really well, right? This was, I think, might have been a Sunday night or something. I don't know. I still have the promo for it somewhere. But we, the next day, Robbie calls me up. I think he's gonna order cigarettes. You know what I'm saying? And he hits me up and says, "Hey man, you know, last night went really well." He goes, "Do you guys always have a crowd like that?" And I said, "Well, not like that, but I mean, we got a following." And I said, "Plus, I know a bunch of people. You know, I mean, I sell all this music out of the shop, and you know, we play shows." And he goes, "Do you want to run my hip hop night down here for me?" So we ended up we did it for 7 years. And we would pack it like 2 out of 3 times. We didn't have a dud here and there, but I mean, we did really well. And we actually, when I opened the bar, I did it for 1 more year. And it kind of dawned on me that I needed all those people going to Herb's to come to my bar. And I was like, you know what, I think we're going to call this a day. And I'm going to start doing music at the bar because I needed those. You know, I needed the business. Yeah, that's it. You know?
Right. Yeah. Let's segue into that. Let's talk about that. You are owner of a bar, Bar Red.
I am.
It's like it's a restaurant / bar
does
/ event.
Yeah.
Talk about it.
So to go a little bit in time, so I had the cigarette thing. I got involved with the steakhouse at the Diamond Cabaret. I had the steakhouse at the Diamond Cabaret for 10 years.
Is that where they have $40 sides or $20 sides?
Well, they weren't cheap, but I don't think they were 20 or 40. They were probably at the time probably $15. But a la carte.
I've heard a place right around there. There's like something like $40.
What they do now, I have no idea. We left in 2018.
$40 mashed potatoes, bro. It's tight.
My dad was involved with those guys at the Diamond, and he got me involved with them, and we had a steakhouse there from 2008 to 2018, right? 5 years into the steakhouse, the guy that owns the building where the bar is asked if we'd be interested in opening some sort of restaurant or bar in that space that Bar Red is in.
Right.
And I was reluctant to do it because that neighborhood, I mean, you basically got a strip club and a jail at the time. You know, there really wasn't nothing over there. And he was very adamant that neighborhood's going to come up. You know, they're putting hotels up. They're putting, you know, and he's right. He was right.
You don't know they're there.
Took fucking 7 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's, after a lot of negotiating, that's when I decided to open the bar there. So then I opened the bar in 2013, and that's Bar Red. You know, so yeah, it's a bar. I call it the bar because it's Bar Red. It is a restaurant, totally. Chef Luke has been there with us 9 of the 10 years. He's been in charge of that menu the majority of that time. The food's fantastic. It's mostly Italian food, but Luke gets to kind of put his twist on it. You know, Luke's actually classically trained in French cuisine and stuff, you know, but he can cook Italian. He's great with sauces. So our pastas are just...
The sauce.
Yeah, they're no joke, you know. And then when like I was saying, I opened the bar, I was still trying to promote the hip-hop shit over at Herb's, and it kind of dawned on me that, you know, at the time I had the cigarette shit, the steakhouse, and the bar, and I was trying to promote that night. And that was an easy one to go, let's just move this over here. I closed the cigarette shop, and I moved. I stopped doing any kind of retail, and I just would have a bunch of cigarettes in the back of the bar, and I would have my homeboy Nate from the crew would go drop the cigarettes off all around town, you know, and pick up the checks for me. And then eventually with the vaping and everything, that got old.
Right.
And then the steakhouse, our lease was up in 2018. We didn't renew it.
Were they trying to tax?
We weren't that busy that last year, and the club, the environment of the club was changing to where you couldn't sell a high-end steakhouse menu as much as you could sell a low-end bar menu, and the place was getting busy so late You know, like it used to, you used to be able to fill the steakhouse up between 7 and 11, and then they'd go over to the club. And now, like, people weren't even coming to the club till 11. You know what I mean? And it wasn't viable. But luckily, I decided not to try to get something else going at the steakhouse. And, we were losing money. I mean, the writing was on the wall. But if I had kept the steakhouse going, COVID would have fucking crushed us.
Right.
There's no way we would have made that. I mean, whereas Bar Red was starting to get some momentum, and we have so many loyal regulars for the bar that during COVID, they fucking bought food from us every day. And we were able to survive it, and we have a small staff.
Right.
And so we were really lucky, and I got a good lease down there. I mean, it's I've got a really fair landlord and a good lease, and, yeah.
That's real dope.
So, but when I opened it, I didn't really know. I knew I wanted to do, some sort of Italian food and some sort of bar, but the neighborhood kind of told us what we really were. We used to be open for lunch and everything else. Eventually, it became a 5-day-a-week thing. We're open from 5 to close. The kitchen goes till 10 or 11 at night, and then a few times a month we hold events, and one of them's the hip hop night.
Right.
One of them's a wine dinner, and one of them we vary, where we let a local promoter do it, or we'll do blues music, or an art showcase, or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean?
Hey, talk about. I used to see the flyers where it's like a hip hop dinner. Can you explain that to me?
Yeah. So we did originally the hip hop night would just be a hip hop night at Bar Red, and we would call it Things to Do in Denver When You're Deaf, because that was an album that I put out back in the day. But we'd call it Things to Do in Denver When You're Deaf, and it was like supposed to be the kind of grown up version of the Cadava night that we did at Herb's, but kind of like we serve food.
Right.
It's not as rowdy. Like the Cadava night was fucking rowdy. I mean, we were kids, and we encouraged mosh pits, and we'd let juggalos play, and the place was fun. I mean, it was hip hop, but it was wild. You know what I mean?
Right.
So we started with the Things to Do in Denver When You're Deaf. Then COVID hit, and when COVID hit, we had to just do takeout. But when we opened back up, they had these regulations where you could only have, say, 25% capacity, and last calls at 10 o'clock at night,
right,
or whatever. And you
I
had to have
remember all that
spacing
shit, yeah.
and all this shit, right? You couldn't have performances and blah blah blah. And, what occurred to me, I was like, look, I could fit almost 100 people here legally, capacity with both levels. So 25% is 25 people. So let's get a DJ. Let's put I made a big plexiglass shield that kind of in the corner where the DJ is now, except for covered that corner up. And then and it would go there. There'd be, you see how the X was on the floor the other day?
Yeah.
That kind of is left over from that. So we'd put this X where the performer had to play, the rapper, because he was X amount of feet away from the tables. Then we would make sure the tables were regulated far apart from each other. And then we would have the DJ, and we'd have 5 performances. But you had to call and you'd have to reserve a table.
Reservation, yeah.
So some people get a table of 2, some people 5, some people 7, whatever, until we hit 25 people, which capacity was customers, 25 people. So the performers, you could kind of little leeway there. And we'd sell it out in like 2 seconds. So we would do the fucking hip-hop dinner party. It was basically a hip-hop show, but you had to book a table. And we'd have menus on the table that said hip-hop dinner party. And basically our regular menu. But we kind of were one of the first people to start doing live music again once everything shut down and opened back up. And we have a base group of guys that work, that I like working with down there that kind of helped build the night over the last, 6-7 years. So I would kind of put them on first. I knew they were really, anxious to play. Graybeard and 80 Spades, and Vinny C, who DJs, and, a bunch of guys. You know what I mean? So that's where that name came from. But it stuck. So then when things got normal, we still kind of called it a hip-hop dinner party. And it is, you can order dinner, but it isn't where you had an assigned seat. Yeah, there was a time where you'd walk into the table to have your name on it, you know what I mean? And, I kind of took some of that shit from the steakhouse and the high-end stuff and applied it to the hip-hop shit, and really was able to survive, all the weird capacity issues and all the regulations through COVID. And also, we were really careful about it. I mean, we didn't want nobody getting sick. We didn't want to be on the fucking news or hurt anybody,
No, for sure.
Yeah, we tried really hard, to make it work. But that's where that came from.
And then you guys had some good shows there, huh?
We had some awesome shows. Well, it was awesome because we could say it sold out every single time because you only had to get 25 people, and then it was like 50 people, and then eventually shit opened back up, and then it just sort of, became regular stuff.
Then you started bringing like the different shows, like you said, Slum Village.
Yeah, there was so in the day, Agro from Disciples of the Sick, you know, who's there. Disciples is kind of a, with lack of a better word, kind of an offshoot of Psycho Rome. Disciples is dope, Disciples of the Sick, but Agro is one of the dudes from Disciples. I was a big fan of them. Brown Lucci's another guy that was on Devil's Playground, Duke's label from Psycho Rome, and he was on a Hooks and Status album that we did, and we kept in touch with him. He would play the Cadava night and stuff. I asked him if I could get Egg-Roll on a song, you know, because I was a fan of Egg-Roll, and he got me in touch with him. Egg-Roll was super cool. He gave me this verse that was like this is a money-ass verse. And
Yeah,
he was like,
killed
yeah, dude,
it.
here you go. But he said, I'm coming out. He's a big fan of the Rams, right? So he says, I got tickets to the Rams, and I'm going to come out to Denver. Can we put a show together at the bar? So we put Egg-Roll on at the bar. It went really well. Then there's another guy named Ricky Batts out of New York that kind of knew a guy that knew Manic. We brought him out, put him on, you know. And then from there, you know, it grew. There's a guy named Verbal Pimp that puts shows on. Probably familiar with him. But he brought MC8 to the bar. It was nice. He did a really good job with that.
How was that show?
It was good. It was good. It was. I didn't run the show. You know what I'm saying? But he brought a lot of people, and MC8 was as cool as could be, dude. I mean, he showed up, sat downstairs, just drank Red Bull. He was sitting with his wife. You know, I'm assuming. Cut that part out. And then he came up and rocked his set. It was like 40 fucking minutes and just murdered it.
Damn.
The crowd was cool, and one of the sheriffs from the jail across the street from the bar saw the poster for MC8, and he's a cool guy. You know, I mean, I don't like all the sheriffs over there, but this guy's a pretty chill dude. And he said, I'll work that show for free if I can go and bring some friends. So I had a sheriff at the door. Because to me, I'm thinking MC8, you know, Menace to Society.
Right.
You know, I don't know.
It could
You know,
go down.
Right.
right. And instead, it was
probably won't, but it could.
It was a bunch of older people.
Yeah, it's
Whether
all
or not
older.
in their
Right.
day they were chilling. But MC8 went really well. You know, we did some other shit. Verbal Pimp brought Afro the first time down there, and that went well. And then I brought Elzai, and then I met Master of Ceremonies, Brian. Who,
Shout out.
good dude, and he helped me get in touch with Razcast and Tash, Elda Sensei, and we're working on some down the road. And then there's a few in between that I'm missing, but those are the big,
Right.
to me.
Do you have like a favorite show out of the ones you've done there so far?
This week it's Razcast, because
I was gonna say, that
3
shit was
days ago,
hard,
and it
yeah.
was dope, and it went off without a hitch. The bar was having a hell of a time, dude. My ice machine broke, and we thought we fixed it, and then it broke again Saturday. So
Damn.
we were running low on ice, and we were selling so much beer that we couldn't keep the. You know, usually you chill the beer and put it in the cooler if you're rotate. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? There was no ice to chill the beer. Like you put a warm beer in there, it was melting the fucking ice. We were, you know, so on behind the scenes, not my favorite show, but the show itself was probably one of my
He
favorite.
killed that shit.
That was beautiful. I really enjoyed the Afro show. Elzai was a really cool show, man. And Elda Sensei, probably, you know, it had 2/3 of the people of Razcast.
I missed that one.
It was busy. It wasn't as packed as Razcast. Razcast was very busy, but it was still packed.
Right.
And Elda Sensei was one of the fucking coolest guys. Like had such an awesome mentor, kind of uncle vibe to him. Like when you're into hip hop like me, to be able to sit there with him. Like he talked to me for an hour and a half when he touched down, got checked in, walked down to the bar, just wanted to see it, and chilled. And then we gave him some food to take back to his room. I mean, the guy was really cool, and he was like telling me about like all these things that he's like, you know what, you know, underground guys like you don't know about this and this and this. Let me tell you about this and this and this, but not like getting paid as a consultant. Like he's just telling me,
Just dropping knowledge.
and God, I if I knew that was gonna happen, I would have recorded it.
Right.
You know, but some of it I retained, and some of it was just really cool to have a guy treat you with that amount of like, you know, respect's not the word, but like love. You know what I mean? It just felt really real. You know,
No, it's crazy you say that because like the knowledge is, you know what I mean? They got vast knowledge and all that shit
so
is
much.
dope.
And
Like you said, even just messing with those cats, like you said, Tash, Elda Sensei,
Yeah.
I mean, Razcast, they drop so much knowledge and just so much shit, and it's like,
yeah,
and they're so real too. It's just like, damn, like,
yeah, they were. It was a trip. Like Elzai was very reserved. Didn't really talk to nobody. Afro was really interesting.
He was
dude,
cool.
'cause-
We had him on the podcast.
Yeah,
He is
and
a cool
he's
cat.
young.
Yeah, he's young.
Like he makes me feel old because he's so energetic and with it. But you know what was kind of cool with him was when I had something to say, he heard it like I was older.
Yeah.
Because he knew like fuck this guy's, 16 years older than me. He's been through it like.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
which I thought was really cool. He didn't just kind of go whatever, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we worked very hard to make these people feel accommodated.
Right.
And like we give a fuck. And it's a little place. We have numbers we got to meet too. So there's some things that we can't do financially for them, but we can do on a hospitality level for them.
They're with you. I'm there with you.
Right. And but they understand that. That's another thing. They get that, and that's cool as fuck. You know what I mean?
They're definitely not bougie, or
They
they're
are
definitely
not.
like,
No,
you know what I
yeah.
mean?
No, they are not. Hey, let me go piss.
Yeah.
Not-
Is that weird?
Go
he was
for
a
it.
solid. He's a
With my
solid
tall
kid.
can of fucking Coors Light. Like,
All right, so go ahead and tell them where like Bar Red's at.
so Bar Red we share the alley with the Diamond Cabaret between Colfax and Glenarm. I'm sorry, between Glenarm and Tremont on Colfax. So yeah, we're across the street from the Justice Center, which is
The jail.
The jail.
This
The
court.
jail and the courthouse.
Right.
And then now there's a bunch of stuff by us. There's hotels.
Yeah. Like I said, they're tucked in there. You don't really know they're there, but they're tucked in the cut because I've dropped
Yeah,
the homies off at a couple
absolutely.
different hotels from out of town,
Well,
and
the
you're like,
Slate used to be Emily Griffith.
Right.
Where
What's
you
that?
go-
Is that a hotel?
Emily Griffith. Yeah, the Slate's a brand new hotel. I think it's a Marriott or something. But it
Yeah.
it used to be Emily Griffith. It was
Right.
the trade school. You get your GED,
Yeah,
your
I know
bunch of
that.
barber, license.
I had to take a class there
Yeah.
because I failed one before graduation.
Absolutely.
you know?
What's kind of cool about that is that Emily Griffith, they have a new facility, so it's not like they got kicked out.
Right. Right.
And they've had their new facility, and that place was abandoned or getting worked on for like 6 years, and they did finally get it
Right,
rolling.
got it hooked up.
It's probably been open 3 or 4 months.
Wow.
And then the convention center's over there. I mean, we
Does
do
that help
well with
out?
that. Yeah, very much. Yeah, not every night, but when there's a big
When there is something.
like 2 weeks ago, bro, there was a Walmart convention. Fucking it was
What?
exactly what you think.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was like X amount, dude, like 8,000 Walmart
Holy shit.
people,
Walmart.
employees, execs, managers, whatever. Yeah, we were getting crushed from it, It's different stuff. Comic-Con, dude, can happen and we can be busy, or Chris Rock played at the Belco when we're busy. And, You know what I'm saying? But the neighborhood, it takes everything. It takes everything from the hip-hop show to Chris Rock or fucking Joe Rogan playing Belco to like,
Right.
what's the one? Pretty Woman is doing a fucking play, at the Performing Arts Center. That's big. And then the convention will happen, and then you get the bachelor parties from the Diamond Cabaret, and then you get
Right.
and then all the regulars. I mean, I don't want to discount them, but
Right.
probably half our business is from out of town, and half of it is from, and that was by desigin,
Right.
but it took way longer than we thought. You know what I'm saying? It was
to
a grind.
establish as
Yeah, dude. I think I didn't know what I was getting into, but being where I came from and not really having a ton of money to put into something, when the opportunity to open that bar came up, it was very difficult to say no. Because it was like, when are you ever gonna have anybody
right.
that owns this building looking at me going, "Hey, I think you're the guy
Right.
to put this." I'm thinking like, are you fucking sure I'm the guy? But we did it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it was not without lack of trying, and it went through many iterations. But I'm very happy with how it is now.
Still.
Now I feel like the last 4 years we really got our footing, and you could pull COVID out of that last 5 years, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But COVID was a good thing too. I mean, I got to decorate a little more like I wanted to, and
Right.
fix stuff and paint shit. You know what I mean? Because when
Right.
you got a little staff and you're open and
Right.
you're working yourself to the bone, that this, having that little bit of time, even though there was no money, we used it, to make
Right.
things better.
To your
You know what I mean?
advantage.
Yeah,
That's
so
dope.
yeah, man, I'm very thankful for it, and going from, the cigarette stuff to working with the Diamond Cabaret to having the bar, I mean, it when it was happening, I didn't realize this was like my career in my life. And now I'm
Right.
41 and I'm like, oh wait, this is what I do.
Oh, this is actually
Like I kept waiting for something cool to happen, and I'm like, oh no, this is it. This is cool. Like but sometimes I was working so much, you know,
You
working
don't
for
get to
yourself's
see it.
hard.
Yeah.
You know, it may from the outside you could look at it and go, "Oh fuck, I bet there's all kinds of money there," but it costs a lot of money to
Yeah,
keep things
you
going.
gotta
And when,
grind.
and when things don't work, like you're in the red, bro. It's tough, you know. So
Exactly.
yeah, man. Yeah, so right now I just want to have bar red. I don't want to fucking do anything else. You know what I mean? Make music and help artists and you know sell
Right.
fucking lasagnas and shit.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Life's not that bad, you know.
Hey, what's your favorite food they make at your restaurant? The two things.
Chef Luke does a shrimp scampi Diablo. It's like on a house pappardelle, which is so it's a pasta dish, but it's a little bit spicy, and it's a vodka cream sauce with a little dash of his marinara on the ribbon pasta and the scampi shrimp that's kind of black and it's beautiful.
I need that.
And then he does one of the apps is fried ravioli. It's a goat cheese ravioli with the marinara that he makes. Those are probably the two that come to mind.
Hell yeah.
You know,
Sounds
it's a
fire.
small menu, but everything on there is very good, man.
Sounds amazing. I'm down with everything you just
I'll
said.
buy you. You guys should come in. You know,
No,
I mean,
yeah,
all you guys,
definitely.
You know, bring a date. I'll buy you dinner. You know,
We'll come for sure.
and I mean that 100%. If you guys want to come in, you know, I'm happy to do.
Yeah, no, I'll bring
For
the
sure.
wife.
Appreciate
yeah.
that.
Yeah, man. It's fun down there, dude. You know, and it's fun to we're doing a wine dinner this Saturday, private event. It's like for 25 people. $75 a person, 3 course, 3 wines, good for dates. You know, we're closed down for it. You have to RSVP. The chef gets to write the menu. You know, we're doing that 1 week after Rascast.
Right.
So I mean, we're literally doing, we're doing whatever makes us happy and makes people happy, and that's what's kind of cool about it. You know,
And on that you said 3 different wines?
it's 3 different wines.
And
So
then
each
3
course has
courses?
a different wine. Yeah.
And can you give me an example, like maybe what each course might be? Is it like a meat? Is it a fish? Is it like
it's an app, a main, and a dessert.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, and he'll do. Last month, the main course was a bison ribeye that he did. You know, with like what the hell was it? Like he's gonna kill me. It was like a cashew butter or something. It was very good. Very,
Okay.
very good. This month he's doing a mole rib. So he's doing ribs. It's kind of got like a mole glaze. You know what I mean? Yeah, and the chef's one of those guys that can do.
Sound like you do almost anything. Shit.
That's what I'm saying. He can do desserts. Like a lot of times, a chef maybe not able to do dessert, but can kind of nail all the savor. You know what I mean. But he can do it all, man. And a big hip hop fan. So when like Rascast is coming, he knows he's gonna get his ass kicked back there, but he's stoked. You know?
Right.
And that's what's up. You know. That's why I always make a point to post pictures with us and the artists. You know, because Luke's big into that. I mean, we have a very good team down there, you know, and Tomas and I behind the bar. Tomas helped me run that steakhouse for 10 years, you know, and then the other guy in the kitchen with Luke was our broiler at the steakhouse for 10 years, you know, and so, yeah, I mean, I'm lucky, dude. When everybody can't find staff, I'm going to work with 4 motherfuckers I really care about, you know,
Right.
and so, yeah. Yeah, man, it's wild, and I still make fucking rap songs and shit. You know?
Right.
It gets a little harder.
Still
to
making
rap.
music.
You can't rap about the wine dinner, you know. It's like sometimes you gotta kind of dig, like what's it gonna be, you know. But
Right.
you know, well, yeah, man,
Hell yeah.
yeah, it's good times, dude.
Feel that.
Yep. Well, shit, man, you got any kind of final thoughts you want to let them know about the Instagram for the
Definitely, man.
bar,
It's
red, all that good stuff?
so my personal Instagram, which I post primarily bar red and some music stuff and some life stuff, is stat_young_Cavallari, which is Cavaleri. So stat young Cavallari, and bar red is bar red Denver. So those are both on IG. I got a single for my new album coming out this Thursday
Hell yeah.
called Dolly, DALI, and it's featuring Crooked Hooks and copyright of Weatherman. I did the beat. Song's wild. It's probably the most hardcore song on the album. I dropped that first. You know.
Hell yeah.
But then next month, the 12th of September, the full album's gonna come out, and it's called In the Desert, Not Defeated. I'm really, really digging that album, man. I think people will like it. It's 11 tracks.
Right.
I'm working on putting the finishing touches on a track with Sadat X and
Oh,
Dawit.
shit.
And then I got another song with Afro and Crooked Hooks that's almost done. And I got another track with 80 Spades that is in the early makings, but it's getting there. So that if all goes well, I get all this out by the end of the year.
Right.
You know, and start fresh. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? And, so yeah, man. And then Bar Red does some iteration of the hip hop night the second to last Saturday every month, and we do the wine dinner the last Saturday every month. You know, and if somebody wants to hit me up and be on any of that, man, they're welcome to. My phone number's right on all my shit on IG. It goes right to me or the bar. You know, I'll take text or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So,
That's
Hell
tough.
yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
man. You know?
I was gonna ask you real quick. You still making beats? You still find time to make beats?
Dude, every beat on this new album I made.
Right. But I'm saying, do you make beats?
I make them all.
No, I'm not asking though if you make all the beats on the album. I'm actually, do you like make beats? Like, do you have beats? Like, you know
just
what I mean?
sitting around?
Yeah. Or is it like a?
Yeah.
Is it a?
Yeah,
is
I
it
do. I mean,
That's what I'm saying. Do you like maybe like?
in the day, you know, I would say, fuck yeah, I got. Why you want to buy a beat? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't. And the other thing is, dude, I don't sell beats, man. Like I have, but that's not really my thing. Like if someone really wants me to, if they're dead serious and they're making music and they're gonna actually write and record on a beat, I'll give them a beat.
Right.
You know, I'm happy to.
Right.
If they can be patient, it takes me fucking ever to. You know, if I got 5 guys want a beat, it's like it's gonna happen. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, I got a lot of beats chilling. I did a record earlier this year called, the hell was it called? Devil You Know. Did really well, honestly. And it was right on the heels of an album I did with Greybeard. And that album did really fucking well.
Right.
But the Devil You Know album, I went and found 10 beats that I had made that never got used over the last, really 12, 15 years, right?
Just
And
whatever on the
they've
hard
always been
drive,
sitting
yeah.
there. And I pulled them out and I redid them. I kind of took them, like the bass, and kind of put, maybe I
Just
slowed them
revamped 'em.
down,
Yeah.
maybe I put new drums, whatever. But I was able to get that album done so quick because it was old beats.
Mm-hmm.
But that album is like the most modern sounding album I have because it was like I was working so hard at making these old things sound, you know, today.
Right,
you know what I'm
right,
saying? But
fresh
sometimes
and
I'll do that. Like if somebody, wants a
revived.
beat or I'm trying to make something, I'll go back and look at shit, after doing shit for 20
What could
years.
I do something with? Yeah.
Or something that's always in my mind where I'm like, we never use that and it's dope.
Right.
What if I pull that out and fucking, what's it sound like now? Does it sound fucking corny or, is it workable? You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, even now, a lot of that shit's coming back. You know, that grimy, like even some of that,
A little bit. I mean,
older
Griselda
stuff.
and all that is
with all that.
happening.
Yeah,
I don't really understand the no drum thing that's going on, but
Yeah.
I know it's a thing and I do listen to some of it. But like for me to produce it, I'm like, so what do I do? Make the beat and then take the drums off? Like I don't fucking get it. You know?
Make the beat and then take
And
the
then
drums
just
out.
take them off. And
Mute
I
'em.
mean, people dig it, but I'm like, fuck, I don't know. I can't really like mop the bar to that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, if I'm gonna listen to people talk, I'll just listen to you motherfuckers. You know? So I don't really get it, But I appreciate you, Joe.
I appreciate
we
you too, man.
appreciate you listening, man. That was dope.
Absolutely, man.
Hell yeah. Well, shit, man. There you have it. Another fucking dope episode. Status,
man. Yes,
Cadava
sir.
Records, Bar Red. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate that.
It's your boy JoeThunder. We got
You too,
Elvis
buddy.
Presley.
Man. Cheers.
We got
On
one.
in the house,
Yeah. You,
smoking with JoeThunder.
That's what's up, man.
you can find us on all platforms. We are out of here.
Peace.
Peace.